Hi everyone, this is Laura Walker from OracleReport.com. It's January 29th, 2014, and I'm recording this audio as basically an addendum to an article that I've just completed entitled Mars, Eris, and Katy Perry, or How the Illuminati Are Poised to Strike and Why They Will Fail, Part 1. So this is kind of like, maybe the title would be The Brighter Side of Eris, because the intention of this audio is to dispel or soothe any kind of fears that the article might be bringing up for people, because the themes are rather dark and the times are serious. So in the midst of all of that, I don't want anyone to lose track of what all this is about, because really we have, and I'll talk about this, it's coming to see all of what's happening from the level of how the future looks as bright, because it is, and taking steps to keep the hearts and minds of humanity filled with hope, because there really is nothing else to have here, because all of this is a good thing. We know that what's happening, and if you follow the Oracle Report, you know that what we're seeing is the dissolution, the dissolving away of power and control systems and structures, so things that are based on that. And that includes everything. That includes societies, that includes value systems. And what's being revealed is what's been here all along, that's sustained, that has maintained through all of this, and that is the collective wisdom of the human mind that's been retained. What bits of the mysteries we still have, what bits of information, what stories that have been maintained and carried on with indigenous people. All of this, all of the things, all of what the ancient seers have seen, all of what people are talking about now, all of this is the support, and that's what's behind us. The real story of the article isn't about Katy Perry. Who cares, right? Who cares about pop stuff like that? This isn't really what's happening. We have to look beyond what's being shown, out front, and we look behind it to know what's really going on. And what it's really talking about is, it's a statement that points towards the new moon in Aries, March 30th, 2014, when the control agenda will begin its takeover. The Illuminati agenda will attempt culmination over the year, because the new moon in Aries astrologically is the new year. The Illuminati follow many calendars. The Gregorian calendar was implemented to distract people and keep them on a different time system. The true calendar that they follow a lot of calendars, but they know one of the most powerful calendars is the natural one, and that's based on the cycles of the sun and the moon, and described in different types of astrology. So this new moon in Aries presents a perfect place in space-time with the coalescence of astrological energies that make it perfect, almost, to implement or to infuse or imprint or seed or intend anything that you want, and it be very powerful. The wish, the goal, the intention, the idea is powerful when it's implemented under that new moon, for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to talk about that new moon today, because really the point of this is just to give the other side of the story here with Eris, and show that just because the side of the Eris archetypal energy that's pushed out in front of us is a dark, seductive, witchy goddess, there's another whole side to her. As I talk about in the article, the Eris energy has many names. You could call her Isis and Sekhmet. You could call her Demeter and Persephone. In fact, Eris could easily be called Demeter, and her satellite, the moon, could be called Persephone, instead of Dysnomia, the name of Eris's moon, the spirit of lawlessness. That's what the name is about. Just because the International Astronomical Union decided to name the planet Eris and push that aspect of the energy, doesn't mean the other does not exist. Of course it does. She's Lilith. She's Ereshkigal and Inanna from Sumerian. We can trace her all through time. And in fact, the scientific team, the lead scientist, the lead astronomer on the team that discovered the planet, as far as were the ones that were sanctioned as the discoverers, because the planet was actually discovered by amateur astronomers. And this kind of ties together this whole amateur professional kind of idea that goes along with the Eris energy. This meaning the underdog is really as important as the top dog, because it's the amateurs that truly discovered the planet. Computers found the planet on a certain day, but human beings sighted it through a telescope on a different day. And that's the chart that I use for the birthplace of Eris. I use the date and time of when she was spotted with human eyes, because the humanistic approach is going to trump the archontic or computer approach any day. So if you want that chart, what that data is. Eris' birth date is October 9th, 2005, 1:08 a.m. Central Time, Fort Davis, Texas. She was named on September 13th, 2006. So, there are a few different dates. There are about 3 or 4 different dates that you could choose to as her birthday. But like I said, I go with the humanistic approach. So, the planet itself is actually the second brightest planet or body in the solar system. It's 87% reflective, so 87% of the light that reaches its surface is reflected. Enceladus is the brightest body in the solar system, and it's a moon of Saturn. So Eris shows on the spectrum as white. Pluto, which is basically the consort of Eris, the king and queen of the underworld, Eris and Nergal in Ereshkigal and Nergal in Sumerian mythology, as king and queen of the underworld, they're together. Pluto shows up red and Eris is white. And this is really what we have to remember about all of these themes with Eris. Okay, she's they have pushed that she's the goddess of the battlefield, the goddess of the underworld and of chaos and of strife. But that's one part of the spectrum. Okay, as I mentioned, she is Lilith, and the point I was going to make about the lead scientist on the team at Caltech, Mike Brown, he was a new father. His daughter was newborn, and her name was Lila, and that was what he called the planet, after his daughter. And as I talk about in the book, yes, he's not at all far from the energy. That's exactly what it is. And so in ancient texts that are currently being used by the Illuminati, the Lilith archetype is wild and uncontrolled, and their adage is bind Lilith in chains, which can't be done. Okay, and this is really where part 2 of the article, what it will be about, is that the exact energy that they are trying to use to control is exactly what will turn on them. Okay, it is this mother force. It is the goddess. It is Sophia. Okay, it is Kali. It is the Mahavidyas. It is all of that, and it's not under control, and it's certainly not under their control. And they know that it's not in their control, but trying to control it engenders a lot of power. Okay, trying to just contain that force, getting close to that force, produces a rhythm that a lot of energy comes out of, and so chaos can ensue. And we know that the MO is order out of chaos, and so chaos would be injected in order to bring out order, and that's what they do. And so they play around with this archetype, and they play around with the energies, the strong energies. And think about the last week. okay, when Mars and Eris have been in opposition. That's a very deep tension. That dynamic is very intense and strong. And it has a lot of aggression and anger with it. Mars and Aries are the same energy, and Aries and Eris are brother and sister. Okay, so there's just a lot of powerful kind of effects when these two planetary energies interact, and war and aggression is part of that. And please think about this in a greater sense, because at the highest level, it's the war against the human mind, the war to enslave the human mind. That's been going on. Okay, that's not new, and it can play out at other levels in the world. It could be actual war. A war could initiate. Things could happen at that time that down the road you can say that led to war. And the same way with an intention with trying to produce an emotional effect. If you're trying to instill fear, okay, you can use that and build on it later. And that's what they do. Every time that 21 degrees of Aries is activated by something, they utilize it. Anyone who's been following the Oracle report, I've been talking about it for a long time. It's just data. You can go back and look at it and see that it's true. This is what they do. It's just the facts. And bringing this to light is a good thing, okay, because that disempowers their ability to do it, because then it's no longer secret. The only reason that it has such an effect is because it's secret. The purpose of all of this, the purpose of this article, is to bring it out, to illuminate it, to bring it to light, and to say, hey, you know what, this isn't controllable. What you think you're trying to do with this energy will backfire on you. That's what I want everyone to remember. Our job is to keep people, their hearts and minds filled with faith and hope, because everything that's based in power and control is dissolving. That's only a good thing. Systems that are based on nature and that are in goodness and beauty and uphold the values of freedom remain, just like they've always remained, and they've always been there under the surface, just little threads. The Gnostic wisdom remaining, and coming back now, in force. And that's the wave of the future. And so why would we be distracted with ghosts and witchcraft and ugly, vapid, I might add, and poor art, images, intentions, fears, when it is not the reality at all? The reality of it is all of that is changing, and it's over for them. This is the message, okay? Why are they going to take advantage of this perfect opportunity now? Because they have to. Because they just have to. The mother energy of Sophia, of the innate goodness within humanity, is rising over this and sees through it, because really it's just becoming so clear to see. I hope that lightens and brightens up things a little bit. And stay tuned, because recording about the new moon in Aquarius that starts January 30th tomorrow is upcoming. Thanks, guys.